How Doski creates his own language? Hey there, listeners. Welcome to AskDusky.com, the search engine that helps acquire linguistic excellence. My name is Oscar Vasquez, founder and CEO of AskDusky.com. I'm here today in another conversation with Juan Paz from Guatemala to talk about building a new language.
Hey, Oscar, and great to be here with you again. So, don't you think enough languages are there before a new one can be created? If there are over 7,000 languages in the world today, why do you think another language is needed? Granted, Mandarin being one of them, followed by English and then Spanish as the most spoken languages on the planet. Don't you agree?
Yes, that is true, Juan, but consider what is happening to languages today. Compare the degree of difficulty learning Mandarin versus English, and think how English is the most practical and desired means of communication around the world. You would think that if English is not so influential and so marketable, why is it that so many people are not building a powerful vocabulary to start a business and follow the language to progress? Commercial progress from home, from work, and online as we know it today. For example, .com startups to solve a big problem are simple to launch, even from your own living room.
You're right. Most people in the US are small business entrepreneurs, from a local mom and pop corner store to a more sophisticated, larger scale endeavor, like building a mobile app on a web developing company such as Wix.com. Today's websites require almost no knowledge of computer programming, so developing your own URL.com business address on programming languages like Python, JavaScript, or Swift is super easy. So why is it that so many are missing money making opportunities the internet offers?
Well, learning the syntax or the structure rules or algorithms in computer may be challenging, but wanting to launch a site is not that difficult nowadays. In fact, it is very affordable. Now, having the right language knowledge, that's the challenge. If you laser focus on customers and understand their needs in the market, users are usually willing to download applications like Waze, telehealth, and other translating apps to simplify life. There are many needs out there, so you can think about designing an application to solve a problem and capitalize on it.
Okay, so what experiences or opportunities that provide value do you think you could build on that translates your brand name to dollars?
I can think of many commercial applications that sell and generate income. For example, fitness apps, plumbing apps, catering apps, or landscaping services apps. But more importantly, is creating something of value for users. The real value is in sharing and developing products that provide value to society. Take, for example, helping kids learn a new language like English or Spanish, and how building a valuable bilingual vocabulary can be a lifelong investment for parents, kids, and society in general. A lot has been said about learning a second language in a globalized world, and I believe the language to learn is English, followed by Spanish. The language of progress from over 400 million inhabitants in Latin America want to learn. So personally, my language experience in real estate here in the US has been very rewarding. And that's why in Dusky's search engine, you can type in learn to find relevant keywords and pre-train kids with a structured language to learn to speak with excellence.
Okay, so I've learned English here in Guatemala, and I also learned computer science. And as a web designer and manager in SEO, I can say that my experience with English or with the English language has been very rewarding as well. You're right, Oscar. English is the language of progress, but how can you go about creating a new language that will be different from what we already know and use every day at home, in school, or work?
Imagine yourself appealing to a new generation of young users speaking a new and elegant language never heard before. The time is now for a healthier, less toxic vocabulary and role model to be created. And Dusky's bilingual code is spearheading the use of a new and dominant language for online and offline use wherever you go.
Okay, so in previous, Doski podcasts, novel terminology has been suggested, and now that I can remember, I could say that yes, hearing new voices is appealing to those I speak with. For example, I was at a meetup, and just by mentioning the word dashboard or PV2 en español, I was able to draw attention to my new voice and website. My friend next to me immediately asked me about the new term or tech verbal app, where it came from and how easy it was to pronounce. PV2 in español. So I see where Doski's search engine and podcast can help, and where it's going with its content creation, the Doski way, building a valuable bilingual vocabulary for a new language that sounds fun and super exciting.
Wow, that's amazing how you can be an influencer, and the mere fact that you were able to draw attention to your new voice is an indication of why speaking in new modalities of expression is important, especially when language is being so poorly used not only by public officials on digital and social media platforms. Think fake news, but also by kids texting, and think DMing or direct messaging in a risque personal context.
For sure, artificial intelligent chatbots and online speech recognition technology are very top of mind and helpful today, Oscar. However, human intelligence ranks higher in face-to-face social conversations. So, how do you see a future in artificial intelligence and ChatGPT software developing automatic translation systems that are more intelligent for a country like the United States to change the way it speaks in social corporate boardroom with CEOs, corp staff, and power the conversation into profits using innovative, personal intelligent verbal skills to stand out in the competitive marketplace?
Not only is Daski's AI tool changing the way Americans speaks, but it is also speaking to government officials and corporate owners so they can improve their civil discourse and pay attention to the future of language in the region and change the way language can be articulated with clarity and diction by students around colleges and universities. I would argue that English should be classified as the official legal language here in the US. Currently, and with so many issues like immigration reform efforts, border influx, foreign policy, and foreign influence abroad, now is the time for the creation of a new and more intelligent modality of self expression with the latest tech teaching techniques applicable, especially to newcomers' needs.
So, yes, computational tech like AI, machine learning models, intelligent translation systems, and interactive voice recognition apps are all engineered to give you the tools to be bilingual. You mentioned kids, and I'm curious how these programming tools like Doski's Code and Tech Verbal apps facilitate Latino kids, to master the English language, especially in growing economies going forward.
Well, Dusky's language content is designed to enhance human personal intelligence, and it collects data for automatic translations that pop to mind faster than AI and without delay reaction in real life situations. Dusky's natural language algorithm is based on predictive analytics to ID future use of dedicated acronyms that are easy to recall, like SEO, which equals SAO, and verbal apps relevant to the needs of young tech minded kids growing up bilingual. There is one prominent public policy concern, which is education. And future kids and CEOs need to learn proper language skills with an HTML computational mentality like AI chatbots that run fast.
Okay, so Doski's NLP, um, model can help your child at home and abroad build a great bilingual future. Doski continues writing more Webologic content to help local kids growing up building bilingual skills for creative copywriting, for marketing, advertising, and promotional purposes, for healthcare nurses, doctors, for international trade and travel, for IT, or information technology, and the most prosperous professions in the future. And so they need, so they can succeed in a more dynamic and technologically advanced English language.
Juan,
Let me
if you allow
translate.
me to translate that, um, if I can, if you don't mind, I'll translate that for you. El
Go ahead.
modelo NLP del Doski le puede ayudar a tu niño o niña en casa y en el exterior a construir un gran futuro bilingüe. Doski continúa escribiendo contenido más web y lógico o webológico para ayudar a los chicos locales a que crezcan edificando habilidades bilingües para la redacción publicitaria con propósitos promocionales de mercadeo y publicidad, para la salud, las enfermeras y los doctores, para el canje internacional y viajes, para la IT, o sea, la infotech o la información de tecnología, y para la enseñanza entre los profesionales más prósperos del futuro, para que así puedan triunfar en un lenguaje inglés más dinámico y más avanzado tecnológicamente. So, Juan, I'm happy to know that you are engaging with friends and helping them add new Webologic tech terms like PB2 to their own vocabulary en Español Webológico 3.0. So I encourage you and listeners out there to subscribe to AskDusky.com today and take a listen to more optimized acronyms. If you are a dashboard user looking for exclusive expressions to stand out in Zoom meetings or in social conversations with Dusky, your personal bilingual AI assistant using Google Meet that answers questions in Webologic Spanish, all you have to do is type in your email address and let's get started.
Thank you, Oscar, for sharing with me your new language knowledge. And I look forward to another podcast with more amazing and fun to use generative GPT, tech verbal apps, or appli verbales tech generativos in both English and Spanish. Okay.
Thank you, Juan.